Good evening, everybody. This is Butch Popeye Moss with Texas Biker Radio, Sons of Liberty Riders MC. I'm dropping by tonight mainly to promote tomorrow night's show, Texas Biker Radio, number 417. And, man, a lot of stuff has happened since we left town on Saturday morning, and actually later on that Friday. One thing is we've had another police officer shoot a black man, this time in Wolf City, Texas. And, I find it almost absolutely incredible that this continues to happen across the country. And, I kind of expected it here in Texas because law enforcement, I don't think has really changed their policies too much in Texas. Now, what happened in Wool City, a town of 1,400, let me say that again, a town of 1,400 just north of Greenville, Texas, which is east of Dallas, a small community. It's now tonight you can find that protest on YouTube, and we'll bring you some of it tomorrow night. And let me tell you, the town is 1,400 people. Tonight, there was at least that many in the downtown area, and I promise you, the Antifa types, the BLM types, the ambulance chasers, the troublemakers, they were all there. Now, let me say this. In that town, the law will take action. So there were no fires, there were no busted out windows, there were no businesses destroyed. They were not going to allow it. Period. They're not going to allow it. And so everything ended up, from what I could tell, peacefully. And, you know, this young man was shot by a police officer. Well, let me say it this way. He saw a man and a woman arguing with each other, and Jonathan Price is his name. He went over and tried to break it up. Well, in comes a police officer, and he immediately tases Jonathan Price, the guy who's trying to break the altercations up. He tasers him and then shoots him to death. Now, I don't get it. You know, as OG and I said years ago, that law enforcement was going to get themselves in trouble because of their attitude, because of their training, that they were going to be in trouble. And the black community, at that time, years ago, we said the black community had it. Yet we keep seeing this stuff happen. And I'm going to tell you one thing right now, and I do believe this. There's so many bad apples within law enforcement. Something's got to be done. Something has to be done. You can't go around killing people. This is not Afghanistan. You can't go around killing people and not identifying the target. Just can't do it. And so, you know, I mean, man, I hate to see this. I hate to see this continue. I hate to see the protests continue. I just hate it. But, you know, we'll move on. Tomorrow night, we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about Venice Beach. Now, there are organizations out there, like the one here in Texas, is trying to flip Texas. It's called the Lone Star Project. And let me tell you, they're a piece of work. They're a piece of work. It's nothing but just more Democrats working, spending money. It's a PAC. It's a political PAC. It's what it is. And they're trying to flip Texas. And in particular, they're trying to go after Tony Tinderholt, our representative here in our area. Tony Tinderholt is a veteran. Tony Tinderholt is not an evil man. And what they're attempting to do, like all Democrats do, is use character assassination. And that's going on now. You know, anybody that can spend A little bit of time learning Photoshop can go make a black and white picture and make somebody look really, really evil. Ooh. Well, you know, two can play at that game. Two can. But what we have to do is point these people out and point out what they want to do to our country and point out that this is all about the Constitution. Everything that's going on right now is about saving the Constitution. Whether it be from these politicians, these crooked son of a bitches, or whether it be from the court itself. In other words, stacking the court. We cannot let the other side win this thing. And when I say the other side, I'm talking about Democratic politicians. I'm talking about even some Republicans, you know, that join in with them again and again and again. I'm talking about all those people. They want to destroy our Constitution and change our country into a socialist abyss. And that's the reason we're going to show you Venice Beach tomorrow night. We're going to show you that. We're going to show you some of this stuff from Wolf City. And we'll be talking about some other things, including our ride this weekend. I spent the day cleaning up my bike from 600 miles of bugs and dirt and whatever else we ran through. So I gave it a thorough cleaning, and you guys that were on my Facebook site saw my 57. I backed it out and did the same thing with that. So it's a busy day in our household. Didn't really have to recoup from the trip. I was feeling good. Nothing like getting out there and getting vitamin D, right, guys? Hello, Jerry. Hello, Ghost Eagle, Jaman. In God we trust. All you guys, hello. How are y'all doing? So we got a lot of work to do over the next 29 days. The president, has gone back to the White House after a brief stay in the hospital, and it seems like he's doing good, and he's going to whip this thing. And they're raising hell about him getting out and driving, in front of that crowd there in front of the hospital. I can tell you one thing: as an active person, as a person who really can't sit still. And you see that in me all the time. I don't have palsy, but I'm all the time moving. You can call it nervous energy or whatever you want to call it. I'm all the time moving. I'm kind of like Trump. I don't sleep very much, and I'm generally up and going by 8 o'clock in the morning, if not earlier. No matter how late I stay up. That's the truth of it all. But we've got a lot of work to do. We're going to have fun tomorrow night. We're going to do some work. And we're going to do some planning. We've got to. We don't have any choice, guys. We don't have any choice. When you look out there and you see what's going on every night, you look up there at those protests that are going on every other night. Oh, and Oregon has gone into, well, wait a minute. It was either Oregon or Seattle. I think it was Oregon. They've taken things to a new level. There was a police officer, we'll try and get video of that tomorrow night too, that was on a traffic stop. And here come the Antifa types, and the guy in the car, when the Antifa types were confronted the cops that were trying to give a ticket or stop the car, whether he was going to give a ticket or not, we don't know. That never happened. The guy in the car sped off. And then the crowd got in front of the motorcycle cop, so he couldn't move to go after him. Well, that's kind of interesting because now that is on video, the guy that sped away. And many of those cops in Oregon and Seattle, they're now deputy marshals. In other words, they're federal cops now. And if they arrest them and put them in jail, guess what? They don't go before the friendly prosecutor. They don't go before the friendly judges. No, they go before the feds. And now the cities up there are begging to, hey, we don't need any more marshals. You need to take away their badges as marshals. They don't need to be federal officers. So now they're whining because they're getting prosecuted. Too bad, everybody. Too bad. Let them whine. And from what I understand now, Oregon this is like the 130th night. And you see what these bastards want to do to our country. So it's crazy. It's crazy. How you doing, Lori Bell? How you doing? But, man. Hey, our memorial ride this weekend went really well. Sometimes you don't want to describe that as a good time, but it was a celebration of life of our good friend and chapter president, Jester. And I promise you, he would have loved it. And as I stated today on Facebook, there's no place you get brotherhood, camaraderie, and the love that we saw of all our different chapters. We had representatives from Tennessee, New Mexico, and Arizona. We had guys from those chapters. We had our 3 Texas chapters. It was a wonderful thing, I promise you. The only other place you can get that feeling is in the military. So I disagree with those that say that MCs are dying, because I don't believe that. We still have young men out there and young women out there that believe in our country. They're still out there. It's just these people that are, like we're seeing up above there, are taking all the air out of the room. They're getting all the publicity. But the President Trump is fighting back. He's telling everybody not to fear the coronavirus. And here in Texas, we pretty much taken that as our mantra. No fear. No fear. Get out there and do your thing, do your work, do your job, do the best you can, take all the precautions that you can. And if it comes at you, it comes at you. Hopefully everybody is. And I think after seeing the president, what's going on, the new medicines and things that he's done are going to work. We're going to beat this thing. No matter how much the Democrats scream and carry on. And let me tell you, we're going to talk about my conspiracy theory, Dave. Because the Democrats are throwing them out there all over the place, we're going to do it too. I've got my own conspiracy theory. And it has to do with the frickin' FBI, Homeland Security, all these other people that don't seem to be able to do their damn jobs. Here's the deal for the next 29 days. We need to ask the American people, all of us, are you sick of this shit? Are you sick of it? Are you sick of the politicians that are arguing, they carry on, screaming, throwing fits, having investigations one after the other. And one side is against one side, and the other side just walks away from whatever they do. They just walk away from it unscathed. We all know Hillary Clinton should be in jail. We all know there's people within the FBI that should be in jail now. We all know this. Yet, they just keep on walking away from it. It's amazing. It's amazing. And on top of that, they're all thieves. They're all thieves. Everybody that participates in everything that the left, the progressive left, is doing are thieves. Period. They have no interest in this country. They have no interest in me or you. All they give a damn about is their party and their power and the people that provide them with money. That's all they care about. We tried to talk to one here the other day about motorcycle profiling, about gang databases, that are pieces of crap. Pieces of crap. There are innocent people in those things. But you know what? Those people, they're not listening to anybody but the people that are handing them money. So they can go out there and smear somebody and win an election. And in turn push the country into an abyss of socialism. And there are people from all over the world that are fleeing socialism to get here. Here. They're not fleeing to Russia. They're not fleeing to China. They're not fleeing to any of these places. They want to come here. But if we don't do our job, I don't know where in the hell they're going to go. Oh, they are going to come here because the people on the left are going to offer them free shit. What they're going to do. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, I don't mean to say those words. I'm trying to clean it up, but it's really hard. It's really hard. Let me see. All the investigations will go away if Biden is elected. That's so true, Jerry. That's so true. Wow. But I look forward to being with OG tomorrow night. Not if I hadn't been with him all weekend. We rode most of the time side by side, so, we know each other. We've ridden thousands of miles side by side. And I do love riding in the pack. Oh, yeah. I love my motorcycle. I got that 57 Chevy. It sits in the garage most of the time. We call it the Hangar Queen. But, motorcycles keep getting in the way of hot rods. Yeah. How have you guys been doing? Yeah, Iron Horse says, keeping busy. Keeping busy. FBI is as corrupt as the Clintons. You're so right, Ghost Eagle. Yeah. He is. They are. And, I really got a problem with them. I think they should be defunded. Because everybody thought it was the top echelon of the FBI, but there were people within the rank and file membership of the FBI that knew what was going on, and they didn't say a damn word. And I find it interesting that this country can not defend itself. You know, everybody, I took an oath to the Constitution when I went into the military. I believed it then, and I believe it now, that I've got to do everything within my power to protect it. And one way we do that, everybody, is by shining a light on the left. Because I promise you, they will stack the courts. They will make D.C. a state? Really? They will bring in Puerto Rico to stack the Senate. I mean, they will flood the country with millions of immigrants to assure themselves of one-party rule. And, you know, I fear for our children and grandchildren. I really do. I fear for them. And I fear for the kids that are in school right now, because they're being indoctrinated. The white kids are being indoctrinated to hate their country. It's a sad thing. A sad thing. But you guys join us tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. OG will be in the house. And if something crops up that we need to talk about really quick, I'll be back on. And I will be making some posts on Facebook. We're going to be trying to help Tony Tinderholt and these politicians here in Texas that are being attacked by these political PACs like the Lone Star Project. Oh, yeah. There are some people within that organization that are a piece of works. Yeah. And, of course, they're getting money from all over, unions and everything else, you know. I was a union member for 25 years. The other time I was in salary, another 5 years. But, you know, I learned their tactics. I know what they do, and I'm seeing it today. And it is the tactics of Saul Lewinsky. It is the tactics of communist organizations. And that's where we're at. Hey, Iron Horse, it was my pleasure. I would do it again. I'd definitely serve again. I always knew I was going to be in the military. And my family has a Navy history. We go back a long ways. So I always knew that was going to happen. Probably happened a little bit sooner than I expected, but hey, it happened anyway. That's another story. Maybe we'll have to tell it sometime. With that, everybody, y'all have a good evening. Ride safe. And we'll see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on Facebook, Texas Biker Radio News. And have a good evening.